Let me say good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Happy weekend to you all. Slowly we are getting there. Soon we'll be back fully. But welcome to this special edition of the Masquerade Talk Show. We've been away for a little while now. We're trying to come back. We just stay trying to come back. It's a pleasant good afternoon from my end here in the United Kingdom. This is a special edition of the Masquerade Talk Show. Our guest will be guest, let me put it that way. It's a sister based in Nigeria. She was formerly a confidant to the famous TB Joshua, one of the former disciples of TB Joshua, but she broke away now, and she will be here. Got some chilling revelations as well. Yes, we will go through trying to find out, first of all, how she got involved with the synagogue, the Church of All Nations in Nigeria. How she got to where and she is now. Why has she decided to leave the synagogue, the Church of All Nations in Nigeria, to be a disciple? Imagine, to be a disciple to somebody like TB Joshua, and you decide to leave. Something there. So yeah, hopefully as soon as the internet permit us, we will soon be playing host to our guest, will be guest, Sister Bisola, let me put it that way. In fact, she wrote, she just published a memoir, memoirs as well. We will be talking about it. Yes, indeed. Let me welcome you all the way there from Togo, my brother, and of course, missionary as well there in Togo, Pastor Solomon Kebi. So you and your family and the great job you're doing in that part of the world, giving a lot of second chances to young children as well. And we say thank you. May God bless you. But yes, Bisola, we're expecting her anytime from now to join us from all the way to Nigeria, and she'll be sharing her stories with us as well. Some chilling stories. I can't believe even the photos that you sent me yesterday. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my eyes. People that the people that tell us that God has given them the call. They say it is God who gave me the power to serve in this capacity. I can't believe. Those photos that Bisola sent me yesterday about the other pastor or bishop also running another church in South Africa, which is the Synagogue, Church of All Nations. For a man of God to treat your followers like that, I can't believe it. Those pictures are not pictures that I will really share on a platform here, but I can tell you that for a man of God, a big church like that, with big name across the world, that the soldiers of the Lord, or those that are leading the soldiers of the Lord, to be involved in acts like this. The one that saw it's unbelievable. And sometimes now I sit down, sometimes I just think, I say, who shall we trust? Good afternoon, my brother, Mr. Football, aka Mr. Football, Abraham Fofana. Good afternoon. Thank you, Pato. Thank you very much for the commendation. Thank you for the commendation. And you know what? I'm so baffled. I can't wait for our sister to come in studio now, because it's just about 5 minutes past the hour. She's supposed to be any moment from now. You're gonna hear from her. She wrote this memoir just before she decided to come on air. I decided to buy this. I'm a writer as well, so I don't mind promoting my friend as well. She wrote these memoirs, and the TB Joshua I know. In this book, I got to a certain place. I got to some pages in it. I was reading with tears. And I started bothering myself with a lot of questions. Where are we heading? I mean, the people that some of us have given our lives to, thinking that They are the most holiest on this planet Earth. For them to engage in things that we can't do, especially when they stand before the pulpit, or they're standing before us and they're preaching the words of whatsoever. They tell us not to do some things, but they're doing the words. When you read this book by this sister, it will give you an encouragement that, you know why? Yes, it's good to go over there and go fellowship or whatsoever. But stick to this one, the Holy Bible, if you believe in it. Because these people are standing right before you. And they're helping to direct your life. Majority of them nowadays are fake. They're doing it for money business. Yes, I can say this. Only for fame. Some of them are doing it for fame. In fact, a combination of all. Fame, money. That's it. I can't wait for us to, let me see, let me go back to the music and come back and see, try to get in touch with Sister Bisola so we can... I registered the time and perhaps the way God's blessing us right now for this network to be good. I'm praying to God that the network will permit us will go through, even though our guest is all the way there in Nigeria. It's great. Let me call you Sister Bisola. Permit me to call you Sister Bisola. How are you?
I'm okay. And you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. How's the weekend? How is Nigeria today?
Well, it's been going well. Ups and downs in Nigeria. Power failure and many failures. But with God, we will get there.
That's why we pray for the whole continent. We pray for it. At least our leaders can have some vision and they put the vision into use so that all of us can enjoy it.
That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we want to do for me is, if you just on this platform, can you share the video as well, and let's invite as many people as possible to be on this platform. It's a great pleasure to be here this afternoon on this special edition of the Max K Talk Show. And thanks to all of you who are tuning in, and thanks for all of you, those of you that are sharing the video already. Thank you very much. Let's welcome our studio guests now, because we know Africa and things, sometimes either the power will go up or the internet go up or no signal and whatsoever. Bisola, Sister Bisola, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you on here today. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, I came across you just briefly. The moment I came across you briefly through a short interview, I mean, it touched me. Your stories actually touched me, and I said, wow, I think I need to speak to this sister. And not only to me personally speaking to her, but I need to invite her so that others can also hear her speak. And so it's a big pleasure, actually. I've had lots of brothers and sisters from Nigeria interviewing them from all the way there, talking about different issues. But this is the first time, I think, such what we are about to talk about. This is the first time on the show. So without much ado, let's get to know you small. Who is Bisola Johnson?
Okay. My name is Bisola Hephzi-Bah Johnson. I am a counselor. I'm a web developer. I'm also a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I have been a banker and for many years before I went into the synagogue. Yeah, I grew up in a family setup, but it's like, my mom was not with my father, but there was another woman, so it's a family setup, Yeah, and I went to school, and after going to school, I started working. And while I was in Lagos, my company transferred me to the northern part of Nigeria. So when I got there, I spent like a few years there, like 3 or 4 years, before I had an incident or fire outbreak in my house. This was what brought me to Lagos. I didn't come to Lagos to look for, prophet or something. I came back to my family and friends, because being in the northern parts that I've lost almost everything except my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I came back, and it was why I was in Lagos that, family, friends, saying, oh, this cannot be ordinary. We Africans, we always looking for a corporate, that it must be somebody. We don't take responsibility that possibly you know, maybe one was negligent in one area. So yeah, we believe that there was somebody. So that was how we visited synagogue.
So I mean, let me start from your home, your upbringing and thing, because right now you are spreading the word of God. You're an evangelist or so. But sometimes some of us we are born in a home that even is now a Christian home or is a kind of a relaxed home or so. How was it before going to the synagogue in terms of your upbringing in the house? Was you guys
Okay,
church going?
yeah, thank you. I was born in a Muslim home.
Wow.
I was born in a Muslim home, and I grew up practicing Islam. But when I got into tertiary institution, you know, some of my friends, you know, when you are in the, you know, in the college, in the university, you go around with friends.
Yeah.
I've been to churches. You understand? I've been to churches. Maybe, oh, come and attend our program. You know, things are happening. You know, yeah. I've been to churches, but most churches I went, you know, was like going there to dance, to praise God, you know, with all the beatings of drums and all that, which I did enjoy, but not really, you know, committed to the Lord.
Mm.
Not really committed to the Lord. So when I got to the synagogue, okay, go ahead. I came from a Muslim background, and
Great.
I
Okay.
practiced Islam as an adult.
Now, yeah, I know for somebody like me as well who have similar perhaps connection. Uh, how was it when you made that decision, especially if daddy and mommy were still around and they are practicing, and maybe a few other, maybe your siblings are also practicing. How was it when you made that decision? How did they react to it, and how was it like?
You mean my decision to go to the synagogue?
No, to the mosque. No,
My
okay, yeah.
decision to go to the mosque.
Let's put it this way. You're born in a Muslim home, okay? And mommy and daddy, they're all practicing. They go to the mosque or so. But then you decided to go to church. When you made that decision, what was the
No,
reaction?
when I was going to church with my friends, it's I was not at home. I was in school.
Oh, right,
Yes, I was in school. You
right.
know, my mom has been a Christian all the while, but we do not live together.
All right, I see. Okay.
Yeah, but my dad is a fundamental, you know, Muslim.
Right.
So, and periodically, he reminds us that, you know, if you want to get married, you must marry a Muslim, you must, all this
Yeah.
thing. So it's behind our mind that, you know, Islam, Islam, Islam. So even when I was working, you know, I was still, you know, doing my 5 times daily prayers. You understand? But
Okay.
when it comes to the synagogue issue, is a different thing. Maybe as time goes on, I
Okay.
start unravel that.
Now let's talk about the church and before coming to the synagogue, because you must have been in one church before moving over to the synagogue. Uh, in why First of all, why was the church you were going to, why is it that you decided to leave it? Because it's the same Bible they were preaching there.
You mean, oh no, I was not going to church as if I was a churchian or a Christian.
So
I was
your
only,
first devoted church was the synagogue then?
no. Synagogue, okay, maybe, well, you can take synagogue, you can use church for synagogue. But for me, that's, you know, I came out from there, I would not take, you know, I would not use the word church for
Oh,
synagogue.
okay.
You
Okay, I get your
know,
point.
yeah, it's a different thing. But let me tell you, when I was following my friends to church, it wasn't that every Sunday we go. It's just once in a while. that my friends would just invite me to church programs. You understand? Church programs. Possibly
Okay.
they are doing revival or maybe harvest, and it's like, oh, come, let's go, let's go. But the moment I go, I turn to home, you know, going back to to my faith then, as you know, as a Muslim.
Right. Right.
So uh, after I left the northern part of Nigeria to come to Lagos because of the incident that happened, and some people came, you know, to our house, to, you know, friends, that maybe we should look around. Possibly there is, you know, there's somebody behind all these kind of incidents. And at that time, my dad was a little bit sick. So, you know, when people have problem, if you are not grounded in faith,
Yeah.
your faith will be shaken. And that is why I am saying this. I am coming out to say this. Because the enemy will come to you at the time that you are vulnerable. You know, the enemy will come to you at the time when you are vulnerable. My dad, that, you know, was, you know, Muslim, Islam, but when he was sick, he was open to another faith. So
Now,
for me, okay, for me, we were invited to the synagogue, saying
okay.
that, oh, there is a man in Khartoum, you know, he can see, he can prophesy, he can, you know, do miracles and all that. Well, we don't mind. So we went there and we saw what was, you know, we saw what was projected before us, what we were given to see. And we drew our conclusion that, yeah, we can be helped in this place. And we watch all the movie, we watch, you know, all the videos they showed to us. But it happened that we waited till evening time. You know, this is what, you know, the modus operandi of the
Yeah.
synagogue. They want you to keep watching. They want you to keep saying, and so that that thing can be, you know, ministering to your mind. That is manipulation. So then we saw till evening time when TB Joshua himself came out into the service. When he came into the service, somebody else was the one leading the prayer before him. We were all closed eyes and were, you know, shouting amen, amen. When I heard another voice from the microphone, and when I tried to open one eye, because I was curious that who was the next speaker. So I saw a man standing right in front of me. He was just standing right in front of me and staring directly at me. So, you know, it's like I quickly closed my eyes, but I opened my eyes again, you know, and it's like I knew his face somewhere. So while the service progressed, I started thinking where I knew him from. And I remember that I had a dream 2 weeks earlier. 2 weeks earlier. So
Okay.
that was where I saw him. So I thought maybe God, you know, maybe, you know, God works in diverse ways. It could be an angel, you know, and it could be, oh, maybe God sent him to me. Okay, it's like, I mean, you know, I thought maybe I was in the right place, you know. So, and after the service, he sent one of his disciples to me
You're talking
that I
you're
should
talking about
wait
you're
for
talking
her.
about TB you're talking about TB Joshua himself now, right?
Yes, TB Joshua. You know, I said TB Joshua came out during the evening service. So he was the one standing in front of me, and after the service, TB Joshua sent one of his disciples to ask me to wait behind. So, well, it's good for me because me too, I wanted to see him. So, and it took like 3 days for me and other people. I was not the only one. There were other people with me, you know, not from my home, but, you know, other, you know, people that visited the place. You know, it's like he picked people randomly. Yeah. So when I got to see him after these days, it was midnight. It was midnight. So when I got to his office, he asked me this profound question. Have you seen me in your dream?
Bisola, it was midnight. He requested that you go to his house.
We were still inside the synagogue. You know, people, you know, at that time, I don't know now, at that time, people were permitted to sleep. Some people would sleep on the floor. You don't know the intensity of religiosity of Africans. They want to sleep, you know, in the shrine. They want to sleep in these places, believing that, you know, the more they stay there, the more God will answer their prayers. So people were sleeping on the floor. They sleep around, you know, there. And by the time he called to see us, it was past midnight. It wasn't, I didn't, you know, it was not like his house. It was later I got to know that he lived there also. He lived in the facility. It was like a church facility. We were still in the synagogue. So it's not that they just asked us to go to his house. We're still in the same place. We're still in the same place. The auditorium is there. The disciple quarters, they call it disciple quarters, you know, is also there, and offices are there. You understand? It's a big, you know, expanse. So it was around 12 midnight when they came to wake us up that he was ready to see us. So I was even jokingly playing with the disciple that called for us that, don't you people sleep around here? He said, they normally walk through the night. Wow, well done. So when I got to his office, he asked me, when it was my turn, you know, we were on the straight line. Each person will go first. He will attend to that person, and another person will go. It wasn't that he addressed us all together. So when it was my turn to go in, I went and he asked me if I had seen him in my dream before. You can imagine. Now, if somebody asks me that, I will ask you, why must I see you in my dream? Me, I want to see Jesus. Me, I want to see Holy Spirit and the angels of God, not you. So, but because we were not, you know, in line with God, we are so lazy in the place of prayers and, you know, reading our holy book. So I was happy, but before I could answer him, he had written something in, I don't know if you have it in that your book, because I did some updates. He had, you know, he has written something in Arabic. He wrote something in Arabic that I should take to my house, and I'm trying to show you. He had written something like this. Have you seen it?
What page is that?
Okay. No, the Amazon page is different from this page. Oh, okay. But this one is 245. It could be 280. Yes. So It, let me tell you, it's under Bayo Ajede.
Oh, okay.
There is a disciple
I
I
think I
talk
see.
about.
Yeah.
Is an ex-disciple, Bayo Ajede. That's chapter 13.
All right, continue.
Okay. So then he wrote that stuff and gave it to me that I should put it under my pillow. That within 3 days I will hear his reply. It was so fast because other people were waiting to go in. So when I got home, what I did was to eat and sleep, and somebody was even asking me that, why are you sleeping so much? I said, I'm expecting visitor. So, and on the third day, I was in my dream and I saw a big snake trying to attack me. So I shouted, I screamed. So when I screamed, I saw TB Joshua floating into my room, because it's like he didn't pass through the door. So somebody just floated and said, what's the problem? I heard your voice. How could he have heard my voice? He is not omnipresent. He is not everywhere. He's not God. But later I got to know that it was that thing he gave me that I put under my pillow that has connected us. It's an initiation. So you people that you are buying water from the synagogue, they have initiated you. You need the blood of Jesus for cleansing. All you people that are taking TB Joshua's pictures in your house, it's a point of initiation. Even to the point of people that are watching Emmanuel TV. A lady called me from Spain recently. She said she started watching Emmanuel TV and she realized that after like 3 months, somebody was sleeping with her in her sleep, which never happened to her before. This is a constant, stories that I've heard from people. So we are saying, be careful. Be careful. There's nothing wrong in being careful.
Now,
So, yep. I should go
now
on.
let me establish the ground. You gone into the synagogue now. You become part of it. They call you to a meeting. TB Joshua call you to a meeting. You have a meeting with him or whatever. What was your role in the church before you left? And how long have you stayed in the church as a member, full-fledged member?
You mean in the synagogue?
Yeah, sorry, you told me not to refer to it as a church, but people say church. So I'm sorry. Okay, in the synagogue, yeah.
Yes, all this, they are all in my book. When I was in the synagogue, when I fully entered into the synagogue, I was the visitor coordinator. I was also the synagogue video editor.
That means you have a friend. That means you have a direct connection with TB Joshua.
I'm trying to look at you.
No,
I lived there.
Yeah, that means I can go there as a worshiper, so I can't have direct interaction with TB Joshua. But where you are, you could have.
I became a disciple. I became a disciple.
Wow.
That thing he wrote started working in my mind, in my spirit, that I couldn't live outside of the synagogue.
Oh.
In my dream, in my thoughts, then when I complained to him, he said God had told him that God wanted to use me inside the synagogue.
Right.
So, well, what will I do? And now say, okay, let me give it to the Lord. Because as a young girl, you have lived your life as a youth.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me give my life to Jesus Christ. But unfortunately, it's, you know, it's not house of the Lord. So as the moment I joined there, he sent me to the studio where I did editing. I learned editing there, and I didn't learn voiceover because it's been my voice. They just asked me, do the voiceover on all the tapes. So I will write what I need to, it's just what I'm saying that I will just be commenting on. You understand? Verbal
Yeah.
comments. So I did that. Anytime visitor come, I will be invited to take the reason is that studio was the only place in the synagogue at the time that had air conditioner that was presentable for visitors to stay. It was like a little beginning at that time. You understand? So if any visitor, you know, big men or women that visited him come, they will go to the studio where there is air conditioner. They will sit down and they will be entertained with videos of those arrangements. So nevertheless, you know, I was also visitors coordinator. When the white-skinned people started visiting synagogue, I was the one coordinating them. Whenever the phone calls or emails need to be, communication need to be sent to the visitors, I was the one that would write and show it to TB Joshua. He would say, okay, no problem. And I pick up his calls on his behalf. I was also in charge of banking department because of my banking experience. I was also in charge of youth department. I coordinate the youth. So I was also in charge.
Let's hope the internet will give us, will permit us to continue to have Bisola on. We're coming to talk about your book as well because.
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, we're there. We just been trying to hold on you. Yeah, we're here.
Sorry, it's a call coming into my phone. Yeah. So therefore, I was also coordinator of the people that do clearing and forwarding. They do clearing and forwarding. So we also, freelances in other departments. So if there's any issue in some departments, because I have that, tenacity in order to work, because I come from background that work is, I take my work very, very important. So usually in those days, I only sleep like 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm always working one place or the other. So because of that, I have direct interaction with TB Joshua. Okay? I had if there's anything that we need kind of let's say you need to, anything we need instruction. So I don't take instruction from another disciple. I go directly to him, and he made it possible for me to be able to do that. He told me that, God has told him that, I can handle things, and he would be a father to to me at that time, that whatever I need, that God was angry with all the disciples because of the sins of our fathers. So it was him that wanted to connect us back to God. So because many people got there at the point in life where they had issues, so we thought maybe it was genuine. So he used a lot of things to manipulate us. He said it was of the shoots of Jesse. He said it was of the shoots of Jesse. There's nothing he will do on earth that he will be held accountable.
All right, Bisola, before we move forward, you're talking about the discipleship, meaning from what you're talking about, the disciples are the ones that actually helped TB Joshua to run the affairs of the synagogue. How were you guys recruited? And what were your responsibilities?
I said it earlier that I went there because of issues, and he invited me. He said God.
The rest of you now, as disciples for the church, the rest of you, do they put the advertisement out that if you want to apply, you come and apply?
No.
Joshua himself.
No. People visit synagogue for different reasons best known to individual. It could be that you just see that you want to make synagogue your church, or you could be that you have problem, and through word of mouth somebody refer you to synagogue. And not all the people that visit synagogue that were recruited into disciple fold. But basically those that were recruited into disciple fold are those people that got there when they had issues.
Right.
Yes. So what TB Joshua would do, we say that you have to stay here and carry the cross, and God will do it. And through many years, people live there with still their problems with them. You can imagine somebody came with her husband and saying, I have problem of barrenness. Okay? If they fit into what TB Joshua is looking for, if we ask the wife to be a disciple, you understand what I'm saying?
Meaning the wife will not go back with the husband at home again, will be in the...
No, the wife will not go back. It will not be something of a sudden. It will just be saying, I would like to see you. And the woman will keep coming and be spending all the days, all the time in the synagogue. If a kind of so-called man of God invites you, say, I'd like to see you, people want to go. So you can stay in the environment for like 10 hours, 12 hours. Some people, they will just say, okay, don't let me go home, let me sleep here, in case he wants to see me at the time, maybe at the time is convenient for him. So by the time you are there like a month, and by the time he invited you to the office and said God wants to use you, you're already living there. So all you do is to ask your family to bring your clothing there, or you don't even mind. You will be buying more clothing as you spend your time in the synagogue.
In your book, which of course, as we go along, we want to be talking about, let me just show it to all our viewers right now. This is the book. This book here is the memoirs that she wrote. Everything that she's telling us here, in fact, is even deeper in the book when you're reading it. So if you want it, you can get a copy. I think I got mine through Amazon, or so you can go on Amazon. She will talk more about it and give you some direction later. But I want to take, as we go along, because everything that we're talking about, Everything is in the book. But I want to be reading to you, and then perhaps you can also expand a little bit on those. Let's talk about these disciples. You say here in your book, and I read, it says, they are not allowed to move closer to their families. They have no mind of their own, or rather, they are not permitted to make use of their minds. Was that happening? And can you expand on it? It sounds scary.
Yeah, very scary, I tell you. Very scary. The moment you get into the synagogue, your communication with the outside world will be severed. There is words that, you know, he has already told us that we got to the point we were because of the sins of our parents. And also that our parents were the one that were against us. Parents are witches, what he meant. That our parents are witches and wizards. So these are the words of manipulation that we have received. That even when you have anything to do with them, we send them away. Even he instructed me to send my mother away.
Wow.
That my mother was afterwards. Afterwards, you will be stopped from using if you have mobile phone, because you will not be calling outside world. They will tell you that you are not concentrating serving God. That you have to concentrate in serving God. If you buy anything, you have to go and show it to TB Joshua. These are your new clothing or new underwear. So
what?
I mean, yeah. So it's a cult community. It's a cult. So and if TB Joshua is talking.
Hang on. Let's get some clarification here. As a disciple, you are a woman. You're not married to him. He's not your wife. He's the head of the synagogue. As a woman, being there as a disciple, when you buy your own honor clothes, that you have to go and show it to him.
That's right. Because it will tell you that he doesn't want anyone to bring strange things into the synagogue. So even if you dream, you must inform him that this is the dream you had. So, but when I saw, at the time that I saw that he was just using that to teleguide, you know, so me, I don't tell my dreams because I dream a lot. And at the time my dream started giving me concern that where I was can be house of God. Apart from hearing TB Joshua lying, he can lie, is a pathological liar. He can call you and said, when we get to disciple meeting, you must say something against another person, what you have not witnessed. What will call you that you should say something against somebody else. So while we are in the meeting, somebody will just raise their hands up. You know, he has known the people that he has, you know, giving words to. He will call them and they will say, okay, this is... why he's doing that? He wants to use that to break that person psychologically. And yes, so that in order to break that person psychologically. So if 2 or 3 witnesses witness against you, and you are saying, oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, everybody will abandon you. All the disciples will abandon you. You will not move closer to workforce, or, you know, even the stipends that will collect, that we used to collect, it will be stopped. So you have no choice but to beg and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, because you can't go back home. You'll be thinking that, how can you go back to witches and wizards? You have lived with them, your life was not better. So, you know, we were already bewitched, we were already manipulated, and we were already hypnotized.
Bisola, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are just joining us, a special edition of the Masquerade talk show, Sister Bisola, she's our studio guest today. She's sharing her stories with us. She has been, for those of you just coming on, she has been a close confidant to TB Joshua, the only TB Joshua, especially that we know in Africa. She's been a disciple, one of the disciples in the synagogue as well. But as she left the synagogue, she decided to leave because she said she was already, she later found out that she was lost. She was lost. And she wrote a book. She wrote memoirs already. For those of you that are just coming, it's on the Amazon. She will talk more about it later on. We're just trying to give you some picture of what is in this book here and what all she went through. Not only her, somebody watching the movie, watching the live right now, she said that she is a direct experience as well. We'll open the lines later. We can also hear from that sister. But let me read this portion to you have again, because this is unbelievable. Let me add this up. It is happening across the continent of Africa. Even children, when the man of God says that child is a witch, that child is destroyed for the rest of their life. Sometimes they can even go to the extent of killing that child. Now, you going as an adult, going in the place that you say, well, this is the place that I'm supposed to be, to worship God and whatever. And somebody is telling you that, look, excommunicate your parents, excommunicate everybody outside the world. Once you're in the synagogue here, you're not allowed to use phone or so. That's touching. But another portion I came across in your book here, this is it. It says here, the disciples have no life and they have no life of their own, no personal time. You can be summoned any time of the day or night. No personal finance source of income to supplement what you receive. Every means of substance has been taken away from them. I mean, was that TB Joshua doing that? I mean, you're in the synagogue.
That is,
I don't know what.
Yeah. If you are not allowed to mix with your friends, you are not allowed to mix with your family, you are not allowed to have any dealings with the outside world. So you only rely on the system. I will like to refer you to chapter 8 of the book, where another disciple, if you Google it, you will see it online, where the man had a conference. I mean, you know, he had an interview. So, where the man said, TB Joshua sent him on exile in order to take over his wife. So this is one
All
of
right,
the.
I came across that. It's not on the same page, but I came across it in the book. Yes, I read that part as well.
Yeah. So you can imagine the story of the man that he came with his wife, and suddenly he noticed that TB Joshua was warming up, you know, getting closer to his wife. And the next thing is that the wife was told that he needs to serve God, and he was left alone. After some time, himself too was called, and the next thing was that he was sent to Ghana, and the wife remained in Nigeria. For 7 years, they were not allowed to copulate as couples, until one day that the wife was sent to him, and he took caution because the Spirit of God warned him. And at the end of the day, the wife was pregnant. Not of him. Not of him. They only want to, you know, do mix up things for him. But thank God he was disciplined. At the end of the day, the woman got pregnant, and well, when TB Joshua realized that the man did not fall for the scam, at 8 months old, the pregnancy just was aborted.
Let's talk more about your discipleship, because what I know or what I've experienced before is that sometimes in the morning when we go to church, the elders, some specially elders, will go alone to the pastor and they will pray together to give to seek spiritual guidance from God, that the preacher can be strong in whatever they are preaching. Was that part of your work as well? When before TB Joshua take this pulpit, what was it like? What do you people do? Do you people spend time with TB Joshua? How was it?
Different people belongs to different departments. There will always be something to do. You know, there's those people building, those people singing in choir. Though there are some people coming from home, but the leaders of the choir are those people living with TB Joshua. Those are the people that are receiving direct instructions from him. There are, you know, different departments. People that are working in the studio. The only time all of us usually come together is when we want to have meeting and when we want to eat together. Fortnightly, they normally kill certain ram for the disciples to eat. So everybody must be together. No one must stay out. Or any time that TB Joshua said he wants to give lectures to the disciples. And at the end of that lecture, it will be a report against somebody or report against somebody. When he see that you are a little bit tough for him, maybe you are strong-willed, they will bend you. What you have not done, somebody will just report you, and before you know what is happening, you become docile and you bend and you will calm down. Yes.
I came across your story where you talk about a little bit about your dream. And this dream actually is a dream that for me up to now, when I think about it, I say, wow, is it real? So tell a little bit about this dream. The dream that TB Joshua plus another man, they were leading, going to somewhere and in this big building, and something happened. And somebody pushed you.
Yeah, okay. I had a lot of dreams. Why there? I remember one time, you know, that I had dream that we were led into a thick forest.
That's the dream I'm talking about. Yeah.
As a disciple, if TB Joshua is moving, so, you know, it's an honor for those people living there. It's an honor that you are walking beside him, and you understand. For you, it's an honor. So,
Yes.
but in this dream, we were on a straight line. He was in front, leading the disciples. I recognize a lot of faces that I know physically. So he was leading us. Then when we got to a point, somebody just came and was trying to push me out of the line. I resisted. I said, no. But that person was more powerful than I. So he pushed me and I fell. And I saw them where I was sitting on the grass. I saw them filing into a kind of warehouse, auditorium. So they entered there, and within 2 minutes or 5 minutes, dead bodies were being brought out. I was still watching. So and those people that I saw in those dreams are no more today. There is another dream I saw where I saw TB Joshua wearing black, and four people were carrying a dead body, you know, a man that was, you know, dead. They robed the man in black. Even those people that carried him, the power bearer, they too, they were wearing black. They were following TB Joshua. And I saw some disciples, some female disciples I can mention now. They were also wearing black, and they had kind of red handkerchief with them. So they were following. So I was looking at them by a window. So when they got to a point, I saw that one of them, named Anu, was asked to stay. She was asked to stay. Who, you know, who may be prying on them. So other people just left. I saw big snake one time, big snake, mighty snake, coming from the main road, and that snake crawled to Joshua's bedroom. So, you know, I saw a lot of things. I saw a lot of things. I also saw one day, I saw a lady. She was so dirty. She was dirty, and I tried to help her to clean up. By the time she stood up, it was my face I saw. So many things that I've seen. And we know that TB Joshua had all the pictures of disciples buried under sand. We don't know why he did that.
What?
You know,
Say that again.
yeah, our pictures were buried under sand.
You're the disciples?
Yeah, disciples. And some pictures were nailed to the trees. I don't know why, but those, you know, many things we saw like that. And there were, you know, some people talking within that we were in bondage and things like that. So if you a grown person enter into a place and you find yourself not being able to use your mind, you know that something is definitely wrong. The Bible says we are brethren. You understand? We, you know, the apostles of old, they lived with Jesus. Even Jesus even followed some of them to their home. Like Peter, you remember that, you know, Jesus went with Peter to his house where Peter's mother-in-law was having fever. So, you know, they were friends. They were, you know, acquaintances. I don't know why TB Joshua just want to lord it over people. You know, he just wants to become Lord. He
Did
said
you,
a lot of things that if anybody leaves synagogue, that person will be dead in no time.
once you leave the
That if
synagogue,
anybody,
especially those of you, you're talking to those of you how they call it, disciples, when you leave the synagogue, you're going to
disciples,
die. That's what
yeah,
he tells you.
the disciples
Wow.
leave synagogue, the person will be dead or the person will be sick. So while we were there, we always hear stories of those people that have left. They will just tell us that they are dead. Even
Wow.
my own death was announced to the disciples in order to discourage them not to try to leave. You understand? And
You mean
not
when you
only
left the
announce,
when you left the synagogue, your death was announced to them?
yes, the people that later left, that are left behind.
Yeah.
One of the girls that I saw on the streets, I was just going, then I saw her. She just ran away from me. A car almost hit her because she thought she saw a ghost. So I had to, you know, I tried to say, why are you running? Why are you running? So I thought, so after some time, I drew closer to her. I said, why are you running? He said, TB Joshua said you are dead. I said, well, I'm not dead. And another man, you know, another man came forward, you know, and said, there's nobody they will tell that, that I'm alive, that they will believe. Because what they did after I left, that is what they normally do. If any disciple leave, there is a way they use their pictures for enchantment. You know, those people, they will, there's something TB Joshua will give that department is another department. They call it prayer warrior department, but they are not prayer as in praying to God. So they are enchantment. Anytime we go to maybe for crusade in different countries, these enchanters usually come with us. I don't know if you have seen a king in Nigeria called Oni of Ife. Anywhere he's going to, his enchanters will follow him. They will be saying some enchantment. You know, they will be saying it, repeating it. You know, that is traditional. That is African traditional religion, and TB Joshua is not different from that. So, anytime we go to, you know, to crusade, you will see them. They will be locked up in a room. They will not see the sun. They don't want them to see the sun. I guess it's an occultist thing. So they will be enchanting that whatever TB Joshua do, nobody should challenge him. That whatever he does, you know, it should be, you know, there should be a pathway for him.
Bisola, did you at any point before you left the synagogue, did you at any point had an encounter, direct encounter, maybe one-on-one encounter with TB Joshua himself that actually led you to question the gospel itself?
A lot of things. Is it the one that he be having sex with the female disciple, myself inclusive? Or is it that one day a visitor came? The visitor died. Where the visitor slept was adjacent to TB Joshua's bedroom. And because I was a visitor coordinator, when somebody called me, one of the visitors called me and said that there was a crisis or emergency in their room. So when I got there, I saw that the man was not breathing. So me, because, you know, I act, you know, I can see TB Joshua anytime. So I went to his bedroom to wake him up that there is somebody that was not breathing in the other room. So he said I should call one of the junior prophets. At that time, we had Agomo and we had Benson. Benson died inside the synagogue. You know, a lot of people died inside the synagogue. There are some people that, you know, two people, they fell from the roof and they fell down inside the synagogue, and their dead body were thrown into the trash. So when this person died, TB Joshua said I should go and call those junior prophets. They pray, just like the prophet of Baal. Nothing happened. So we went back together, three of us, we went back to his room to tell him that the man didn't wake up. So he left us to another place that he has, where he normally do enchantment. So to me, I thought maybe he was going there to, you know, to pray or to do something so that the person will wake up. But unfortunately, that person didn't wake up. So all this time, my dreams, you know, all the lying of TB Joshua, all the, you know, the things that we saw, that people don't actually receive healing. A lot of people have died of HIV. You know, you are home, you just see that he's just shaking hands, and people were forced to give testimony, and even medical reports are being arranged for people to testify. But we are inner caucus, We know that all these things. And he told us that we need to help the work of God. You understand? He said we need to help the work of God. So everybody in the synagogue, as disciples, we do things to help, because it's help, because it's God. It's crippled, it's God, it's powerless. So we need to help his God in order to achieve those things, most of those things that you see.
So, I mean, if, for example, we hear of somebody being healed from the synagogue, are you saying that even that is staged?
Most are staged. Most are staged. And those people who think maybe they receive healing. But even in Africa, we are all Africans. In Liberia, I believe you will have some herbalists, some African traditional herbalists. They give children to people, heal people. They give certain healing to people. So seeing somebody healing or doing something should not, you shouldn't just accept that it's from God. So, shouldn't just accept it's from God.
So let me, before I come back, we'll come and talk about it, talk about a book. So for those of you watching, you can go on Amazon. The book is there. Somebody asked for the name. I gave you the title already. You can check the book up. I got a copy already.
TB Joshua, I know.
Yeah, before I came in. But let me just remind you, my platforms are not limited to a certain group of people or certain country members. No. That's why when I sit here, I'm discussing about climate change. I'll make sure I'll have a guest from Lagos. I'll make sure I have another guest in Kenya. I'll make sure I have another guest in the USA, and we'll talk about climate change. When I'm talking about environment, I invite people from different, I don't have any boundaries. For some of you that are saying I should limit my talk or I should talk only about Liberia. No. Maybe this is the first time you coming on my show. I am not. I'm here to bring issues that people are doubt about, or that people are some people are even living in the dark. They need light, and the only way they can get light is for people that have had experience through that. They can share their experience with you, and you can get light through it. It's a pleasure to have you on. You made mention.
Yes, that's why I said, sir. That is why I said I'm sharing my experience so that somebody else's future. Yeah,
now, let me go back. Let me go back to the question I asked you, because you sent me some pictures this morning through WhatsApp, and up to now I can't believe that the church I'm going to, this man that's standing right before me on the pulpit and telling me I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that, is involved in something like this. I asked you the question. I want you to really little bit go over it. You said, when I asked you the question, you said, well, yeah, TB Joshua can sleep with all of us, including me and whatever. If you say sleeping with you people, is it sharing the same bed? TB Joshua is married. He's a married man. You all live in a compound there, although maybe the wife is also there. I mean, how possible is that TB Joshua will sleep with you people? And what you mean? What do you mean by sleeping with you people in a tarry? With you people having a tarry now, you're singing and whatever? Is that what you're talking about? Or,
bro, this is very sad. This is very sad. At the beginning, when I entered into synagogue, the wife of TB Joshua, why reluctant to use that word wife? Because even in European community, apart from African community, if you want to get married to a wife, your husband, if you are not going to church, right? But TB Joshua didn't do any, wedding with this woman. This is what the woman confided in me. You know, TB Joshua loves pictures. You know, he loves pictures and camera. Maybe he should debunk this by bringing out his weddings pictures. So, you know, and the woman told me that other people went to synagogue for counseling. She had problem. And when she got there, TB Joshua impregnated her. And at the beginning, TB Joshua does not want to own up. That is the same reason why the disciples that are living under him, there are lots of abortions. If anyone is pregnant, they take that person for abortion. So TB Joshua didn't want to own up. She was not living with us. She was living outside the synagogue. It was as time goes on, I think as the child, you know, grow up, it's like there's nothing I can do. So the child was around maybe 10 or 12. The mother were, you know, invited to come and live with the disciples inside the synagogue. So your time, you will be called into TB Joshua's bedroom to have sex with him. Yeah, he said it's nothing, you know, he just wants you people to be closer to him. He got to a point that even 4, 5 girls will be with him. He will be naked and, you know, he'll be doing ungodly things. You can imagine if that lady that I sent the pictures to you is telling our story, people will say it's a lie. But that lady put up something that will give evidence to show that that man in that picture, Magaya is also spiritual son of TB Joshua. This is what these people do behind closed doors. This is what the devil has given to them. Before TB Joshua goes into service to meet the congregation, he must pass through a woman. He must have sex with a woman. He must have sex with a woman to go into the service. These are the diabolical way that he, you know, is practicing. And these are the things we have seen. While we were there in the synagogue, they break the ground and bury things there. So many of you people that go there, you are going into initiation. You are going into demonic groove. For me, after I came out, it took Jesus to wash me clean. So people who had visited that place, people who are at one time or the other, use things from that place, you need cleansing. You need cleansing. You need cleansing because the mark of Satan is on you. Yeah.
You wrote the memoirs. The memoirs is huge, and this revelation is a personal story and everything in there. Why have you decided to write the memoir? Why have you decided to leave the synagogue? Because this is a very big church. It's all over the world now, planted almost across the world now, including my country. There's a branch there as well. I mean, this big. I mean, you were on top of things, and you could see this man of God. Any African countries he goes, I mean, even presidents are fighting to see him. But you have direct contact with him. You decide to leave. Why did you decide to leave? Why this memoir?
Why this book? Yeah, I decided to leave because I saw that that place is not a house of God. And that is why I wrote this. When a Christian no longer pray, Jesus said we must pray without tiring. But when Christians become charlatans, they don't pray, they don't study, they don't do what is written in the Bible. This is an opportunity this negligence can bring another spirit. There are two spirits in the world: Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God, and satanic spirit. There is no gray area. It's either you belong to A or you belong to B. Okay? So when I saw where I was, for a normal human being, of course, you want to belong to God. You want to belong to light. So I decided to leave, and I left. And after leaving, there were a lot of battles that I fought in order to be totally free. In order to be totally free. Then, after I became free, I thought what God has done for me. I believe that if I just move on with my life, it's not the best. I don't want my past to become people's future. Peradventure, I fell into a ditch and I got out, even with bruising and with wounds. I think it's my responsibility to warn people, please don't pass that place. There is a ditch there. It will be ungodly for me to just move on. And moreover, if you have read my own story at the end of the book, how Jesus Christ delivered me from this monster called TB Joshua, you will know that God spent his resources upon me for me to be alive. God don't just do things. Responsibility to make use of this great grace that God has bestowed upon me, to be the voice of the voiceless. There are a lot of people, that were left there. Even after this interview, some of them will call me and say, well done. I said, why don't you talk? Some of them even know more than I do. Because in the synagogue, you cannot know everything. In the synagogue, you can't know everything. Some people, they know some parts that I do not know. Why don't you, in order to help humanity? I am doing this to help humanity. If I have enough money, I could just print this and give it out free of charge. Or if anybody has money to, do the printing, we can distribute it. You understand? But I will not put this on Amazon. And Amazon will want it free. Definitely is not possible. So, but that is also the same way why I am granting these interviews. If you don't want to buy, you can listen. At least I'm spending now in order to bring this information to you. It's costing me data, it's costing me time. So I'm giving it out free so that you can listen to it. You don't need to buy the book if you don't want to, except if you just want to have a copy. I wrote this book as a document, even for generation unborn. A time will come, they will say, that lady said it. Because there's nothing that has beginning that does not have an ending.
That's true.
If it is not of God, definitely all of us, we are still here. But if we are gone, our children that will be around will witness that there is a document that said all this. There is a document that said all this.
Now, take us, just go over again. How can we get this book again? Let it come from yourself.
Yes, if you are in Nigeria, Trem Bookshop, or you can just Google the TB Joshua I know on Konga.com. That is if you are in Nigeria. or maybe you are in West Africa that Conga sells it to. And if you maybe you can reach me, I'm not a myth, I'm a human being, and I'm not afraid of any man. The Bible says once God has spoken and twice I've heard, that all power is in the hand of God. My friends, please don't be afraid for me. God is at the top of the matter. So my phone contact, you can contact me, if you need one, is +234 7046 515167. That is my WhatsApp. Or if you are in overseas, you can reach Amazon. There is Amazon US, there is Amazon UK, there is Amazon Italy, there is Amazon Japan, there is Amazon Europe. Amazon has different, outlets in different continents. So you can reach out. Or if you want a PDF, you can reach out to me also. Or you can go to evangelistb.com/shop, SHOP.
Wow.
So these are the places you can get this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the options are many. She's giving us her time here, like she's saying. She's been, granted a lot of interviews as well. That's how actually I came across her. And for you to also benefit from, if you want, possibly for me, I would like to encourage you to buy a copy of the book, because it will not be only for yourself. If you buy it for the house as well. But there are a lot of stories in here, actually, accounts in here. And what I love about the book, about her book, is that every word is attached with the gospel. And
Yes.
that's what actually drew me into this. Every word she say, when she says one or two things, she connects you with the Bible. This is what the Bible say about this. It's not
what I'm saying, my brother, what we want should return back to God. If I had been in God and I have the knowledge of God's word that I have today, I would not spend 1 second in the synagogue. Because Jesus said, by their fruits you will know them. The signs are everywhere in the synagogue. But for those people who have not known the ways of God, they will fall into that error. What TB Joshua is doing is African traditional religion. He's only veneering it with the name of Jesus. And, everybody should return to God. Why must the Bible says in the book of Hebrews 12:2, look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith, who for the joy set before him endured the pain of the cross. It was Jesus that died for you, not a pastor, not anyone. Why? If you look deeper, you will see that some of TB Joshua's followers, what will come out of their mouth is curses. What will come out of their mouth is abuses. Come out of them. And these are the words of Satan. But I'm not about TB Joshua. I have no problem with TB Joshua. I'm only concerned about people so that they will not fall into error. There are many people that died in this journey. It's very painful to me. There are a lot of people that died. I can be naming them. It's in the book. The names in this book are real names. They are not make-believe. If TB Joshua know that what I'm saying is wrong, he will have taken me to court. But he knows that what I'm saying is true, and it's about you, children of God, for to look, children of God, for you to look deeper At least the Bible says, test every spirit. Test every spirit. But many people, because of their problem, if you have problem, you are not the only one that has problem. The apostles of old, they had problem. Many of them, they were living inside prison because they were preaching gospel. Abraham, the friend of God, had problem. David, the one after God's heart, had problem. So problem is not peculiar to man. If you solve your problem, that is why he said in Jeremiah 33:3, say, call unto me. He did not say call unto pastor. Daniel said, they that know their God shall be strong, not they that know pastor, not they that know prophet. We are in a time that the herbalists, we are in a time that the occultists, they are no longer seen the way they used to be seen, where they will put on chalks and, cowries around their body. We are in a time that the occultists, they will carry big Bibles. They will put on suits and nice clothing. So please don't be deceived. Matthew 24:20, the falsehood will just be all around. Yeah. Jesus said the way to the kingdom of God is narrow. Only few. Do you want to be among the few, or you want to be among all these places that are deceiving people? You see a lot of multitude going there. Why can't you know God for yourself? Why can't you know God for yourself? If you know God for yourself, you will not be bewitched. If you know God for yourself, you will not be hypnotized. The Bible said there was a man in Acts chapter 8. He's Simon the sorcerer. This Simon I'm talking about, the Bible says he deceived the whole city of Samaria. If anybody come and tell the people of Samaria that this Simon is a liar, they will not believe that person. From the history of time, truths have always been in the minority. You know that. Truths have always been in the minority. Only few people, because other people, they don't want to know the truth. They just want to continue following lies. When Noah was rescued, only 8 people out of millions of people in the whole world were rescued. In the Sodom and Gomorrah, only 3 people out of thousands of people in the town. Do you understand? Truth have always been in the minority, but lies are everywhere. Lies are everywhere, and unfortunately, my generation continue following, begging you. Jesus is coming soon. The time is so short. If you get to heaven, the prophet will not answer for you. I'm talking from my experience, what I saw, what I witnessed. I beg you, God, for yourself. May the Lord bless you in Jesus' name.
Wow. For those of you that just joined me, it's a special edition of the Max K Talk Show. Our sister is
for TB Joshua to be sleeping, with 8 years old children, for him to be sleeping with 11-year-old children, 14-year-old children, he calls for concern. All you women churches and say, go and spend holiday before they return to your home. Some people not to be for you. That is why we are saying this. These are
let me take
as a
this,
woman, I'm supposed to be ashamed, but I'm telling you what happened to me. What happened to me.
Yeah, especially some of the issues you've been talking about, they are quite sensitive. For you to come up today to be telling us the photos you sent me about that your friend you're talking about, I can't believe it up to now. Sis, let me just take the last portion to share with our people, which you say in the book as well. I mean, this is quite shocking because I thought, you know, people of God, when you are in it, when you are being directed by somebody who is well, who call themselves man of God, women of God, if you're being directed by them, I thought they're giving you a chance to prosper in life. But this is what our sister said here in her book. She said, the disciples have no life of their own, as I have said earlier. No personal property except their box of clothing. They are not allowed to have personal bank account, no personal communication device. They are slaves, as TB Joshua often calls them. He will say, God is not aware of your existence. You cannot make it through the heaven or anywhere without me, TB Joshua. I am just trying to see what I can do to reconcile you with or back to God. All I know is that TB Joshua trades in souls of men because some politicians and rich men who constantly visit him do come for such spiritual arrangement. Unfortunately, many disciples do not know that they are already empty. These are very, very powerful revelations here, sister.
But I discovered that he is a liar. Jesus said, even the birds of the air, even the leaves on the trees, our Father know each one. So why should you tell me that God is not aware of my existence? But because we were not in line with the word of God, so we thought maybe it was genuine. So it's so sad for anybody who do not seek God. It's so sad for anybody. That is why I'm encouraging people today.
You now plus your friends, you've left the synagogue now, you're having your life, you're trying to rebuild your life also. We know, for me personally as a journalist, I know that for you to come out on radio, newspapers, writing a book, you are also a kind of some people will say they want to go away from you also. But all in all, you are doing it not for yourself, like you say here, you're doing it for even the unborn generation to come, which I so much admire. What are your expectations since that you guys are coming on now to give revelation? There's a sister who also said here earlier, she wrote and she said, I know what this lady is talking about. I am one of the victims as well. I mean, do you think that these things should go to the point that government should get involved? Or you think because such man like TB Joshua is so powerful, government will not be able to do anything to him?
Well, either they are involved or not. I have appealed to their conscience at the end of my page. I have appealed to their conscience. This is what I wrote. I said, I'm using this opportunity to call and to appeal to all Nigerians. Not only Nigerians, even other nations, United Nations, governments of Lagos State where TB Joshua domiciled. I'm calling on federal government of Nigeria, all concerned citizens, mothers, fathers. Take time to look, to verify what I'm saying. Because the synagogue said, you know, I'm not stable, I have mental problem, and you know, I'm asking them, okay, if I'm not stable, I think because TB Joshua claimed to be a healer, synagogue would have been the best place for me to go for healing. But I still spent 14 years there. He's still saying I'm unstable. That means, you know, he's the one deceiving people. and I was unstable. He gave me platform in different departments to represent him. Do you take a mad woman to different countries?
No way.
No way. So, you know, I've appealed to them. They should take time to check if it is found to be true, that place should be closed down and the people there should be liberated. But if it's a lie, of course it can't be lie, then I need to face the law. I need to face the law for lying so much. So that's, I appeal to them. But you remember that we are living in a climate that's, you know, there's corruption everywhere. See, it happened, maybe you will see, under disciples. I talked about 3 girls of the same parents, the same father, the same mother.
Yeah.
And this entity called TB Joshua disvirgin these girls while they were minor. When the mother got to know, they took him to court. The case is still in court after 18 years. They are just pushing it up and down. TB Joshua continues spending money, you know, to bribe these judges. Even when he collapsed house on top of foreign citizen, the government couldn't ask him any question. He continued to pump money. He went to Israel recently. A lot of people said they don't want him in Israel, both Muslim and this guy brought $1 million to the mayor of Jerusalem or wherever he went, and that was how he was allowed. So he keep using dirty money. He keep using blood money to propagate the kingdom of darkness.
So
how it can be stopped? How it can be stopped is for everybody to know God for themselves.
Okay.
How it can be stopped is for everybody to know the truth, because
and stop running after miracles.
Where there is no buyer with their time. But if there is still buyers, the sellers will still be in the market. They will still be in business. I have no reason to lie on him. I have no reason at all.
I want you to tell me the reason why this photo like this. You have half of TB Joshua to be in a demonic world, and you have half of TB Joshua to be on the planet Earth.
Yeah, because he's representing Satan. That is the half. Is satanic, and the half is using it to deceive people. That is why the subtitle of the book is Deception of the Age. It's like you have a very bad egg. You know, egg don't stay a long time, and the egg has become rotten. And somebody now take that egg and use it to bake a Scotch egg. You know, there's something on top that is flour and breadcrumbs, and you understand, and meats, you know, meats low. That's on top. When you see it, you think it's a good thing. You think it's a good food. If you bite into it, you will know that, wow, you are eating a rotten egg. So the facade that TB Joshua is using to deceive people, the bling bling on Emmanuel TV. Take for instance, somebody has back pain, and he came to the synagogue and he was deceived to sit on a wheelchair. You that you have backache, you can still manage to walk. You may even have a walking aid, like a walking stick. And they tell you that, oh, At the end of the day, you will be crippled. The best thing is for you to sit on wheelchair so that the Spirit of God can heal you of whatever that will happen to you. People sit. So when TB Joshua come out, he just do his hand like this and he says, stand up. The people that are watching, they were not there when we were putting him on the wheelchair. All they could see was somebody standing out of wheelchair to walk away. But when the genuine cripple go to the synagogue, they will not be allowed to enter. They will be sent off. So this is deception. Deception, we have never seen this type.
Well, my sister, you're giving us a good time, and I just want to thank God. You see, God can do things, because normally when I'm having guests, especially all the way in Africa, and sometimes connection will get lost for good number of time. But since we've been on here, besides the calls, your calls have been coming in. There's no interruption. So God gave us the opportunity that which you can also use the platform and tell us your story. I just want to appreciate you on behalf of everyone that's here. A lot of
thank you very much.
A lot of comments, positive comments as well about your testimonies and everything on the platform. Maybe after we finish, you can watch a video later. I will also share this video with some of the news media that I'm friends with, including CNN and BBC as well. So some of my colleagues will watch it, and because
please, if you are able, can you tag me so that my friends can also watch?
I will do it. So
thank you.
Just before we let go of you, sometimes I watch the programs, not through meaning, just mind my business sometimes on Facebook, but then it will come across me, boom, and I say, okay, let me just see what's going on today. Sometimes I see leaders from other countries and things going to visit the synagogue at the time you were there as well. I think you saw some leaders going there also. Are they going in the right place, or you think they are lost, especially if they are still going there for 10 years, 20 years, they still visiting that synagogue? What advice would you have for them?
Do you know what the Bible says in the book of Revelation? It said, my people. If you know you are God's people, God is addressing you. He said, my people, come out of them. See, I'm in Nigeria, and if America wants to fight Nigeria, do you know the first thing America will do? They will call home their diplomats so that they will not be caught in between the battle. But if any diplomat refuse to leave, unfortunately they are on their own. So that is why God said, my people, come out of them. Because God is a long-suffering God. God is a patient God. But you don't know when their cup will be full. And you start, before the wrath of God. Even though what they are doing is evil, but we are still praying that may God have mercy on them. May TB Joshua receive the light of Jesus and be saved. The will of God is for everyone to be saved. That is his will. That is what he loves. But if you refuse, there's nothing he can do for you. Jesus has come to die. So God, I'm appealing to everyone. Come out of that place. Somebody said something to me that, maybe TB Joshua has repented. I said, okay, what TB Joshua has done cannot be silent repentance. It cannot be acceptable. What he has done. He needs to come out openly and confess what he has done in order to turn around and move to the light of God. He cannot. He cannot. He just you know. So.
Wow.
So look at in the synagogue, because you know, demons operate there. The people that go there, I also want to warn you. You don't know when the demons of TB Joshua want to drink blood, because periodically death happens. Periodically, uncalled for accidents happen. See how house collapsed. See how, you know, sometimes people, you know, will just fall from the roof. Sometimes some people will just collapse and die. So you don't know the time that his demons want to drink blood. There is a lady, a friend of mine in the US. She's a Jamaican. I think it was when I went to DSA platform for interview. This lady called in and she told us her story, how she went to the synagogue and a demon slept with her. She said all her life she has never dreamt or had vision of somebody sleeping with her. And after that, it was spirit of death that was pursuing her. It's only God that saved her. A lot of people, they go to synagogue or they use their elements, and Satan joined themselves with them. You can imagine Magaya that went to synagogue to collect power is also into the same way of TB Joshua, sleeping with girls anyhow, doing things, selling water, selling things that are not biblical. The Bible is our constitution, is our guide. Read your Bible. Talk to God. Wow. And it is well with you.
That is Sister Teresa, evangelist as well. And let me tell you, let me just remind you again, the fellow that is heading the church in South Africa, what should be his title as well? Is he a disciple? The one
Who is that?
The one you sent me his picture. What should be his title? Because he head in one of the churches in South Africa.
That is spiritual son of TB Joshua. Okay. He's a prophet. Now, he's a prophet in Zimbabwe.
Now, what I just want to share with you, those photos that I received of him, I can only tell you that if you know about Rita X, that's it. That's all I can describe it. Those are the pictures of somebody of that nature preparing to go give a sermon, and they have to perform that before they go on the stage. Well, let me take some of your comments, and from there, we tell, you know, our sister would bid her goodbye for now, and hopefully, you know, we'll keep in touch with her as well to, you know, she'll have, you know, time that will come on our gospel show here to be sharing the word of God with us as well. But let me take a few of your comments. Some of you that are here, I can read all of them. Cecilia says here, okay, I really want to read her comments actually. I gotta read, let me see. Let me just recap a little bit and see how I can just take a lot of comments here. Thanks to all of you. Let me see. Okay, let me start with, okay. Testimony say, whoa, God have mercy on you, on your people. William says, yeah, this platform is not limited, my friend. Mark these with wide range of topics. If this topic is making you uneasy, just leave. There are many Liberians show going now. All right, the brother we're talking about, because there was a sister here who said that who was telling me that I should stop talking about TB Joshua anyway. Okay, she said I will not share the post at all. Okay, as there's the same sister that was telling me that I should stop talking about TB Joshua. All right, and this one says here, the TB Joshua. Okay, says here. Let me see. Some people I troubled with this topic, Max Dixon, because the church they are attending is doing the same thing, or are a victim of this same thing, but shame to have the courage, like this lady discussing this. Yes, that what maybe some people are actually bitter about why we're having the sister on the show. A blessing say everybody want quick wealth. That is what destroying us today. Satan will not give you anything free. Okay, thank you very much for that comment. Testimony. Whoa, bless God. If you and the courage he gives to speak out the truth, many will come in the name of God, deceive many. Be wise, pray very hard to differentiate between the spirit. Thank you so much, my sister, as well. Okay, let's just a lot of comments there. Perhaps you can respond to some of them later after the show. Let's just get the parting word from you for this segment, and please keep your line open for us. A lot of people are actually, admiring you here, and I'm sure that a lot of them will also, try to get a copy of this book. But for the weekend, and thank you for being on the show. What is your last, your departing comment on the show today?
Sorry, I just got a little distracted. Can you say that again?
Yeah, we just want you, what could be your last departing comment to all of us before you go?
Yeah, what I'm going to say for the last time is what the prophets of old has been saying repent, go back to God. God is not angry with you. The book of Zephaniah 1:3 says, return to me and I will return to you. God is not angry with you. All you need is just to return to God. Return home. Remember the parable of the prodigal son. Even while he was away, the father was still on the streets waiting for him. So God is waiting for you. There's no problem that God cannot solve. You talk to him. Look at you. He created you to have mouth. You are always talking to the prophet. You take this time and talk to God. Exodus 3:7 says, I have heard the cry of my people. Meaning that God has ears. I have seen your affliction. Our God have eyes. He sees you. He knows you. All he's waiting for is just what Jesus said in Matthew 7:7. That is, ask, and it shall be given. Knock, the door will be open. So God is not angry with you. Return to God. All these people that call themselves prophets, you too, you are a prophet. You are a prophet of yourself. You are a prophet to yourself. We can pray together as Christians, hold hands together, because the Bible says whatever two people agree concerning, heaven will release them too. But not that you'll be going around and people will be laying hands. You don't know what they have in those hands. What they have put in their hands that they are laying on you. So return to God. That is what I'm saying. Just leave, Jesus, the Bible says, when Jesus went up, he led captivity captives and he gave gift unto men. Give Jesus Christ into your life. The Holy Spirit lives in you and directs you. Take time to know the gift God has given you and, talk to God. It is well with you. Ever since I left synagogue and I got myself together, I pray for myself. Those things that we think, hey, until we go to one prayer house. Jesus said a time is come that you don't need to be going from Jerusalem to Samaria. God is looking for true worshiper Wherever you are, the Spirit of God is there with you. So, and there's no important people before God. God loves all of us equally. That's what First Peter 2:9 says. He said, "Ye are chosen generation." It did not say some particular people are chosen generation. When the Holy Spirit came down on the day of Pentecost, if God was partial, the Holy Spirit would have anointed the 11 people that were following Jesus. But no, the Holy Spirit anointed all the people that were on the upper room, right? So the moment you give your life to Jesus Christ, you are a child of God. God knows you. God loves you. But you see, the lies people have told about God, you better start from, debriefing yourself. God loves us dearly. God loves us dearly. I can't say it enough. I'll keep saying it. I keep saying it. This book is loaded with a lot of resources, and all the things I wrote in this book, they are real life experiences. They are real life experiences. And
My sister.
I want to tell you, very soon you will see some people coming out as well. It's like some people are getting courage.
Yeah, it's almost like it's just like it's almost like the Me Too movement that's going on around the world now. So let's hope that others will have the courage to come out and tell their story, because through their stories, maybe those in authority will be moved and do something about it. On this occasion, my sister, we want to say a big thank you to you. For those of you that are just coming, the sister here, she's an evangelist now, and she's been sharing with us her experience in the synagogue, Church of All Nations of TB Joshua. She was there for 14 years, according to her.
14 years.
14 years was like she was in hell. Imagine, that's what she said.
Sorry. I also want to tell our viewers, in the synagogue, it's only what they want you to see that you will see.
So
it's only what they want you to know that you will know. So it's what they presented before you.
Yeah, so everything is programmed. So buy this book. Those of you that are interested, it's a very good read. For those of you, holiday is coming as well. You can sit with this. You go somewhere that you're taking your holiday. Just read, and perhaps it will help you to even make some sound decision, and perhaps you'll be able to also advise your family, your friends as well. My sister, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for today. We want to bless your weekend with you, and may God continue to protect you, because for some of us, even I am a journalist here that sit here with, you will go on the video, you're going to see some comments. Some people throwing words at me already. What's about you?
Doesn't matter. We bless them. We bless them that they don't.
May God forgive them.
No. We are not against them. They can curse us, but the Bible says the curse causeless shall not come, because Jesus has taken our curse away. That their curse cannot affect us. They are just, acting in ignorance, and we are praying for them. It's a passion. It's a call. We are praying for them, for their eyes of understanding to be open.
Thank you, my sister. Thank you so much. And once again, I will be in touch. Let's continue to keep in touch. May God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless.
Bye. All right. Give me a new day. I don't know yesterday. What I want is a new day. They broke my heart. Yesterday brought me peace and frustration. I don't know yesterday. What I want is a new day. Give me a new day. Let me say a very, very big thank you to all of you, especially on this, those of you that have been on the platform since we came on. It's a pleasure. That is what we're here for. We are not limiting our platform to a particular segment of the society or a particular country. We're here to bring those issues that are so dearest to us in our communities. Bring them up to light. Bring those people that have experience, then they share with us. Nobody say here that you should leave your church, or you're in the synagogue that you should go and leave. These stories are just there to educate us. 14 years she was there. Not only going to the church, but she was living in the compound. 14 years, she was a disciple to TB Joshua. 14 years, she held a position, from one position to another in the synagogue. Today, she decided to leave. You want to tell me that it doesn't make sense? That left for you to judge, to decide. Thank you so much for following things. For those of you who share, those of you that actually make comments as well. If you want to continue following most of my shows as well, if you don't see them on Facebook, they are on my YouTube channel. And just go to YouTube and type in Max Kpakio. You'll come across all of my productions as well. They are all there. My producers are there as well. You can watch them as times go by. They're going to be there now until I'm going to leave them here and go to the great beyond. All right. Yes, we're going to come out on an exclusively on Liberia. We're going to be talking about Liberia in about 20 minutes. But on this occasion, I want to say thank you so much. God bless you. May God bless the continent of Africa. Above all else, may God bless Mama Liberia. Bye-bye.